You're fired.
You're fired.
No, you're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Y-O-U-R fired.
Y-O-U_R-E.
No, that's the wrong one.
F-I-R-E-D exclamation point.
Nope, that's technically never correct.
Baby. We here.
We stare.
You're in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Devin Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is G. Yes. Nailed it. You know what's the terrible thing, Brandon? Is literally as soon as we were going to hit go live, I was going to say you're fired, and then you started right before me. We're just on that mind meld, buddy. It's
our cycles have synced, baby.
I feel like we've been synced. We're bleeding at the same time. We're pooping at the same time. Oh, is that a Rachel? That looks like a Rachel mug.
That's a Rachel mug.
That's a Rachel mug. Just great work.
Let's see here. It's a little easier to drink out of than this one, you know?
Yeah, but that one's nicer.
This one's big.
Yeah, that one's nicer too.
Probably contains diarrhea and food poisoning.
Unless I pooped in it. Yeah, how was your number one seed poop today?
Oh boy, the poops.
Did you feel like you fully were able to release after a long season?
Yeah. The only thing that sucks is such an anticlimactic finish for the Broncos this year.
Sure.
You get the
it's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a boring way to get the number one overall seed.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Suffering from success over here, Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Continue.
It is a boring way to get it. Nobody really gave a fuck. But that's okay. We'll take a week to rest. Garrett Bowles played through an ankle injury.
Yeah.
They said his ankle was pretty swollen after the game. But yeah, it almost doesn't feel real, Tom.
Yeah. I feel like, all right, I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean it in terms of the level of play. All right. So don't even give me that. It feels similar to a few years ago when the Titans got the number one seed in the AFC. It feels a little like that. And I feel like that because the Seahawks,
Bo Nix,
right?
Ryan Tannehill?
Maybe.
You son of
Look at the Seahawks, right? So heading into this week, you're like, okay, we'll see because the 49ers offense has been playing really well. And we'll talk about this game, obviously. But the Seahawks dominated on Saturday. And you're like, oh, damn, number one seed, right? And to your point, right, just in comparison, it's like, okay, we're not facing off Justin Herbert, kind of a lackluster game, and we're just quietly getting the one seed. I feel like that's maybe a difference between the two conferences this year, right? Like maybe there's a difference in the way that it's finishing.
Well, the funny part is both the Broncos and Seahawks in those games, their offenses just couldn't get the job done in the red zone, right? So Seahawks, they only scored 13 in that. Was it 13-3 was the final score?
Something like that, yeah.
It felt like they won 40-0, but it was a 13-3 score. The Broncos, it didn't feel like they won 40-0. It felt like they won, exactly 19-3 or whatever. But it was just red zone opportunities that they didn't finish with touchdowns. I think if Denver finishes their first drive, because they moved down the field easily, but they settled for 3. It was like 3 or 4 red zone trips all result in field goals. The only touchdown in the entire AFC West was a defensive touchdown by the Broncos. Kind of one of those weeks. But yeah, I think if Denver just, puts it in a couple of those drives, nobody's really going, Okay, you struggled to beat the Chiefs backups, and then you just looked okay against the Chargers backups. Like, who are you? And that's a fair question. We'll find out in 2 weeks who the hell they are.
We got 3 weeks left in the playoffs until the Super Bowl, so we're gonna find out.
I've been watching them all year, Tom, and I don't know. I have no clue who they are.
It's that kind of season.
The best team I've ever watched. Sometimes they're the most frustrating team. What I do know is they figure out ways to win games, and you can never take that away from them.
Exactly. It's kind of been winning ugly. I think you've touched on this so many times. It's just winning ugly all season. And is there a surprise that that's how they're finishing the season too? And I'm going to be honest with you. If you're a Broncos fan, you can win ugly 3 more games and win the Super Bowl. Oh no, what a shame. So it doesn't really matter what the noise is.
That's the best part. It's like people were asking, who am I scared of in the AFC in terms of playoff matchups? And I said, everybody. Every single one of those teams scared absolute shit out of me, including the Chargers, who Denver got the win there, but LA seems to play. They have the Broncos number, I feel like. And even though Denver won that game, it was like the Chargers I felt like their defense had a pretty solid game plan against the Broncos offense. A couple, injuries on the Broncos O-line. I felt like their offensive line played their worst football. I still have big questions about RJ Harvey as your workhorse running back. He got the majority of the carries, and he was not the most successful running back in the Jaleel McLaughlin was playing much better than RJ Harvey, taking carries out of the backfield. And I think we're waiting. Maybe J.K. Dobbins comes back.
That's what I was going to ask. He was at the pregame, right? If I'm not mistaken, yesterday,
doing some warm-ups.
I think he was hanging out in the pregame. So
he's got the foot injury. He could come back. I don't know if it'll be for the first playoff game, but
having that extra bye is a positive one. Yes. You do get to play at home. It's a tough place to play, and I think even just having J.K. Dobbins back there, even if you make it to the AFC Championship game, having that veteran presence there and that's going to make a big difference, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think we'll see. So the Chargers are they're gonna go against the Patriots. We're gonna find out real quick where both of those teams are.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it was a weird week 18. My thought is we had such an incredible football season that this week 18 just felt so lackluster. So many of these games really didn't matter.
Yes.
The two that really sort of played out on Saturday. And then, of course, the final game, Ravens-Steelers, was incredible. It was a great football game. Ugly first half, then just big touchdown after big touchdown at the end.
That fourth quarter was just wild.
And then a pressure kick to try and close it out. Tyler Loop, the rookie kicker.
Dude, that's it.
That's a tough spot, man. I feel for him.
Dude, because either way, right? It was going to be either kicker that was going to be getting a ton of crap because Boswell misses the extra point. Yeah. And it's so funny, too, because you and I have touched on this for a little bit. And I've been talking to Johnny about this. And I want to talk about the kickoff a little bit. But the way that game went, it's such a defensive game and just putrid offenses. I mean, that Steelers offense was horrible to watch. It was just dump off to Kenneth Gainwell, throw behind the line, hand off to Jalen Ward, and it was just not getting any momentum. And once that fourth quarter hit, which you and I have talked about, feels like has been more frequent this season, where it's been those slower starts to the game and then just all hell breaks loose in the fourth quarter. And Johnny and I were talking about this, and he talked about the kickoff and it being brought back to the 35 is a huge advantage to those offenses because, I mean, you look last night, and obviously it wasn't because of the 35. It was because of a really good run back from Keaton Mitchell that set the Ravens up. But that is making a big difference because it's, even if it's a difference of 10, 15 yards, back where I was on the 20 or the 25, dude, that's a full first down if we're going 10 yards from the 25 to the 35. And a lot of teams can make that up quickly.
And if the touchback's not coming out to the 35 in that situation, the Steelers are just putting that in the end zone and taking the touchback and forcing the Rams to start at the 20 or 25. Instead, they're we're going to take our chances and let them do a return. And we did a kickoff video back in November, like talking about some of that. The Seahawks kind of benefited from that a couple times this year. But that's, I think, played a huge part for teams getting into field goal range specifically. So
yes, I agree.
You're spot on, like with that entire scenario and breakdown of what the new kickoff has kind of done. But then I thought this was kind of a crazy stat poll. Tyler Loop's miss on Sunday is the only one that came as time expired in the fourth quarter in the final week, with both teams' playoff hopes resting solely on the result of his kick.
That's a if you're Tyler Loop, that is not a good stat to read.
Don't read it, Tyler.
Don't read it, Tyler.
Don't read it, Tyler.
Stay off the internet, buddy.
He'll be all right. But like
that's a tough one, man.
60,000 field goal attempts, like
that's a lot.
You knew that moment was big. But then you see that, you're like, oh, fuck, it was real big.
Well, and dude, oh my God, the amount of, because the Ravens took the last play before that to center it. And if they were where they were, who knows? Maybe it missed by a good margin. You know, it was pretty wide right.
Yeah, they had a timeout, right?
Yeah.
So I think there was 12 seconds or so right there.
They knelt it. They literally centered the ball, knelt it, ran it down to 2, called a timeout.
And I was
talking about the Yankees.
I was like, you know what? If I'm the Ravens, I'd hand off to Derrick Henry here just to see if we can get closer in this situation in my head. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, you can't hand off to Derrick Henry in this part of the game because he's fumbled this season twice or 3 times late in games. But I still think, I know they're centering it, but I think you just watch Boswell shank one. It's cold out there. Like, if you can maybe not throw or maybe not hand off, I don't know. I think it's a tough decision. Hindsight, makes it different. But my first instinct was hand off to Henry, and one to see if he pops it for 10 or 15 yards, which nobody pops it like that as frequently as Henry. But I get why they don't, because of what happened.
Sure.
Tough,
I mean,
man.
Yeah, total death threats. Dumb. Don't.
Yeah. But then, Tom, with the Broncos being, in it, they're the 1 seed. I've been so used to rooting for the best team to get into the playoffs to beat the Chiefs. Now I'm like, I want the shittier team. I want the more beatable team in the playoffs in case the Broncos got to play them. And I'm like, I think the Steelers are the more beatable team.
I think so, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it's good. I actually wanted the Steelers to get in. I don't want the team that I think can make the most noise going in.
Yeah.
I have to root for favorable matchups.
Yeah.
Just trying to get my head around it, man.
Nolan, keep crushing it. Well, so Tyler Loop, because Lamar Jackson was interviewed after that game, and he was asked, he's like, have you spoken to Tyler Loop yet? And he's like, no, I haven't. But I was
fuck that guy.
Yeah, but he was livid at him before, and he was screaming at him because he kicked the ball out of bounds. So it was just a tough night for Loop too, because that one kickoff that he kicked it out of bounds and the Steelers started at the 40, it just continued that fourth quarter momentum there. I mean, dude, I will say there was some Aaron Rodgers magic in the air.
Oh yeah, Rodgers.
That was fun to watch, man. Like, it was so cool. And I was very wrong. I was like, dude, this should be Saturday Night Football. This should be the Seahawks 49ers schedule makers. I was wrong. You picked the right game to be the last game of the regular season.
Yeah, dude, the Steelers, well, Rodgers in the first half, he missed, I forget who was open. He had who was wide open in that first half? Aaron just kind of sailed it over his head.
Yeah, was that Thielen?
Might have been.
By the way, Pete Carroll just got fired.
Oh, Pete. Sneaky Pete. We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So he misses there. And then the Steelers, right before halftime, go for it with no time on the clock, and they get stuffed. So I'm like, there's 3 points. That's probably going to haunt them.
Yep.
And then Boswell misses. You're like, those 3 points are definitely haunting them. Luckily, Tyler Loop missed it. But in that second half, there was 2 incredible throws from Rodgers. Before the throw to Freiermuth to get him in range there was great. I set up that Kenneth Gainwell touchdown. He had another dime, And then, Austin got open. That's an easy throw for Rodgers. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun that Rodgers is going back into the postseason, especially if this is his last year in the NFL. Yeah. It'll be nice to see, quarterback of his legacy in the postseason after a failed experiment in the Jets, after a weird season with the Steelers. I like it.
Yeah. Beware with a fitty. Go for the kitty. I hate this scenario, by the way. And so what I'm going to do, obviously, is I'm going to call a timeout because we do have one remaining. Matt LaFleur didn't blow them, and everyone is surprised. And so we call a timeout. We then line up I formation, right? Under center. Go to hand it off. Naked bootleg. Put it on Jordan Love's.
I say you hand it off to Emmanuel Wilson, and you lose 20 yards.
20 yards back. Yeah, you want to talk about lackluster games, buddy? How about -7 net passing yards? We saw Clayton Tune versus J.J. McCarthy. Then J.J. McCarthy hurt his hand again. And, oh, man, that was painful to watch. I feel bad for his injury. That's not that. But, dude, like, he's holding his hand behind his back, and he's, like, trying to high-five guys coming off to the sideline. And Fries just completely blows past him and ignores him. And this comes after freaking Justin Jefferson. Did you see that stream clip when Jefferson was streaming? And they're like, bring J.J. McCarthy on. He's like, no, I can't. He's like, you all will troll him. And I'm like, dude, that is...
Yeah.
That's a tough one. So we saw Clayton Tune versus Max Brosmer. What a showdown on Sunday.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got you.
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
No, it's an inside zone. That's what LaFleur would do. And it would haunt my dreams. Let's kind of go in chronological order. I know that we jumped around already, but so Sunday night, just to cap that off. So Ravens started off the season with a thrilling Sunday night loss against the Bills, ended with a thrilling Sunday night loss against the Steelers. We'll see what happens to John Harbaugh. This is going to be the kind of real interesting note this offseason. This offseason, whatever. Sorry, I had to wake up at 5:30, so I'm tired. Offseason. Because I do wonder if more of that pressure is coming from the fan base to get him fired than the front office. There's been lots of smoke, so we'll see if he actually winds up losing his job. But
yeah,
you're right.
Well, I think part of that is due to that article The Athletic posted about, Lamar Jackson, like, watch out this offseason. And then they do miss the playoffs. I don't know where that info's coming from. There's got to be disconnect somewhere that somebody's getting some sort of information. I don't think the Ravens are gonna. I would be surprised if they fire Harbaugh. But you never know, If
it's between Jackson and Harbaugh, you got to keep Jackson. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, you don't move on from Lamar.
Yeah.
And Mike Tomlin, he's going into the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
And I think there was some thought that if the Steelers didn't make the playoffs, that Mike Tomlin would possibly step away and consider some sort of TV role or something, do the classic head coaching reset or whatever. I don't foresee that happening now that they're in the playoffs, but you never know.
Yeah.
But Pete Carroll getting canned, that makes sense. That didn't work out at all.
No.
And I think we were all wrong about it. I thought they would be respectable.
Steer the ship.
Yeah, Geno Smith, we all thought he would be better. Raiders are bad. I don't is Aaron Glenn's job safe? Like, the Jets have been horrible.
0 interceptions. Raheem Morris and the Falcons GM, they got fired last night. They didn't even wait. I know Falcons fans are very happy about that. And they're an improved team. It's just their coaching was whatever. And then Stefanski, former coach of the year, Stefanski, he got fired. And as was mentioned too, I feel like if you're a Browns fan, and maybe I'm reading this wrong, this is okay, Stefanski at times fell short. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's just way higher up than freaking Kevin Stefanski, man. It's the ownership that's so atrociously bad. And it just feels like unless you get a change there, which is unlikely to happen, I don't have a lot of faith in whoever they bring in, because they do, as Otto was just saying, like they make a terrible trade for Deshaun Watson, who is barely even able to play the time that he's on the field. And when he's on the field, he's not good. And now here they are, and Stefanski, I think, will get a shot somewhere. I don't know if he'll be a head coach or he'll just get like as a coordinator position to start. But yeah, Cleveland they need a new owner, man. They really do.
Yeah, I think like with Stefanski, it's tough because the first Coach of the Year award he won, fair enough. Second one felt more like a Joe Flacco award, really, than a Stefanski award. You have to what I wonder with Stefanski is on the Deshaun Watson trade, what was his thoughts there? What were his thoughts there? Like, did he want Deshaun Watson?
Sure.
Because I don't think he really did. I feel like that was a GM decision, but you never know. Barry's done a pretty good job, in the drafts and it's like everything else, Barry, not everything, but most of the other moves Andrew Barry's made from the GM position, you feel like pretty solid. It's the Watson thing is so bad, though, you can't really forgive that or overlook that. So, I want to know where Kevin Stefanski stood with Deshaun Watson, and I want to know where he stood with Baker Mayfield. Those are my two questions about Stefanski that we don't know right now. And if I'm Stefanski, I go into whatever coaching interview, I get, and I go, I open with, I didn't fucking want Watson. And then I say, interview over. And I walk out, and that's only credential I really need.
Stefanski didn't their relationship with Mayfield, his relationship with Mayfield wasn't good at the end. Like, I thought that there was kind of I'm not sure. Tension there.
There might have been tension, but we all know Baker was playing injured. Like, Stefanski and the Shedeur Sanders situation was a little odd. Like, it's probably good for Stefanski to get out. Who's going to go to Cleveland, though? Who wants that situation right now at quarterback? Nobody.
Nobody does.
And with Raheem Morris, I know Falcons fans are really happy he's gone, and they're doing a full reset, right? Their GM's gone. It looks like they're bringing in Matt Ryan as president of football operations. As Falcons fans, you probably are very excited about that. But to me, I feel like I think Morris deserved another year based on the way the Falcons have played down the stretch here. And I know they were out of it, but it felt like they kind of found their defensive identity. And the Falcons' problems, like your quarterback, Penix, got hurt. You bring in Cousins. He's been fine. It's more of their personnel decisions that have been bigger issues that I feel like have limited their head coach. But that's an intriguing spot. Like, Atlanta's going to be a desirable place, I think, for a lot of head coaches.
Their defense got significantly better. They got a lot of talent on the squad. Like, we'll kind of see what goes on.
He's the next Falcons head coach.
Dude, I think Stefanski could fit in just about. He could fit in with the Falcons. He could fit in with the Giants. He can fit in with the Titans. Like, we talk about McCarthy, like, potentially, and I do think that he would still be good there. But I think Stefanski is a good coach, right? I don't think he's this horrible coach or anything. So I think he is a good, solid coach. And yeah, dude, I think he could fit really well with Atlanta.
Yeah, you're right. Tennessee.
Yeah.
You got the Giants.
So, I mean, we'll see, man. And it's going to be the interesting one that I am probably most keen on is what the hell happens to Todd Bowles. Because the Buccaneers, they knock off the Carolina Panthers in an ugly ass game on Saturday where the officials are terrible. Both teams weren't good, but the Buccaneers get a win. So all they need is for the Saints to win against the Falcons. Baker Mayfield's at home watching the game, and that freaking interception, man. They're down 6. They're driving down the field. Shuck throws an interception. Eventually, they're just not able to rally on back. And because of that, because of the Falcons winning, the Panthers win the NFC South, and now they are in the playoffs. What do you do with Todd Bowles? I mean, personally, I think Todd Bowles, it is well beyond time for him to go in Tampa, but I don't know if the front office feels the same way, man. Like, they need a new OC. Like, they need consistency for Baker. They need a few things that they need, edge rusher. They need a few things.
Reunite Stefanski with Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. Come on.
There you go.
I think the most. All right, if the Buccaneers fired Todd Bowles, I feel like they're hiring Robert Saleh, and I'm not sure that solves their problems. They would fire a defensive head coach and bring in another defensive head coach and get the exact same results.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. You look at head coach openings right now and what's the most desirable. I mean, so Myles Garrett breaks the freaking sack record, man. Right? So he does against Joe Burrow. Phenomenal, generational player. I think the Titans ownership, not great, but you have Cam Ward, right? And you have an opportunity to truly rebuild that roster the way you want to around what looks to be a franchise quarterback. I'm really high on Cam Ward. You have the Falcons job, very attractive, right? And you get a new GM, a whole 9 yards. You have an up and coming young offense that's looking good. We'll see what happens. Defense that looks really good. Their offense, they have playmakers. Giants, as we've talked about, Neighbors coming back. You got Scattaboo. You got Jackson Dart, right? The defense is improving. I think that's an attractive job too. Cleveland is just this weird, I don't know what you do.
It is not attractive.
Their ownership is terrible. And while, yes, their defense can be good to elite, you don't know what you're doing at quarterback, right? You're throwing darts against the wall. Who the hell knows what that's going to look like? And Deshaun Watson cost how much money next year? And Judkins, I really liked him as a running back, but they just seem like in this weird spot. And if you have Haslam, that's always going to be floating above there. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to be screwed for a while. I don't see a bright light for the Browns. Unless they, if they nail the coaching hire, the same thing with the Giants. They've got all that potential, but if they don't get that head coaching hire correct, it doesn't matter. I think the Falcons right now are the most attractive landing spot in terms of the current roster that they have. Maybe you have some questions about Michael Penix and his health, right? The Raiders are going to be attractive just because they have the number 1 pick. And if you've got a guy who is high on Mendoza, then the Raiders feel like an attractive spot because you can get the quarterback and the bar has been set so low. You can only come in and make the Raiders better.
It's true. And it really feels like if you invest, you're probably going to go get Mendoza, right? You're probably going to if you believe in Mendoza, you're going to go and you're going to draft him. You're going to get him as your quarterback. The offensive line, God, has to be improved. But at the same, and I feel like that offense could be a lot better, right? Because you already have Ashton Genty. Yeah. I think he could be a good player, but he just needs something to run behind. You need some weapons on the offense. But if those rumors are true that they actually move for Maxx Crosby, I mean, the good news is that, hey man, you're going to have a plethora of draft picks and you can go and completely rebuild that roster. The bad news, you have to completely rebuild that roster and you just lost your best player. So I don't even know what you do in that scenario.
I think moving on from Crosby makes sense in terms of the timeline. Unless the quarterback you take is amazing and turns your team around instantly. That's tough to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's dangerous to expect that from many college quarterbacks who are developed in today's college football game. But I think you can get a lot from Maxx Crosby, and I think you can build your foundational pieces on your offensive line. And I think by the time the Raiders are going to be good again, it's going to be on the back end of Maxx Crosby's career. He's only 28. He's still got good years left in him, which is why his trade value would be incredibly high.
Exactly.
But they can get picks, but it's not. That's always the the thing with picks. You got to turn them into home runs, every single one of them, right?
Yeah.
Can the Raiders do that? Because history says it's
history says no.
We'll see.
Yeah. Echo, I feel pretty good about the Bears. I'm very happy that we're playing them. That's the matchup that I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted round 3 and it's prime time. Perna, you want the Bills or the Texans?
Neither. I don't want to play the Bills offense and I don't want to play the Texans defense. Like,
can we get 2 buys? Is that possible?
Yeah.
3 buys even. It's true. The Saturday night game, just to go through there. I know we're jumping around a bit. The 49ers offense, man, holy crap. They got stomped by that defense. And you mentioned the Seahawks before. They left points on the board, right? But their run game was great. Kenneth Walker was awesome. Charbonnet gets that touchdown. And they Christian McCaffrey, who has been that engine to make the 49ers offense go all year, when he doesn't get going, it's a problem. Brock Purdy, dude, who had like back-to-back 5 touchdown performances, he was unable to do nothing, man. That D-line is no joke. And Seahawks now get the 1 seed. They are going to be a tough team to beat. It's going to be really like the only way I think you wind up beating them is, you're going to force Sam Darnold to have some turnovers, right? Like you're going to have to cause some turnovers there. And even their special teams is dangerous, man, with Shaheed. They're a fun team this year. They're a good one.
Yeah, the Niners didn't have Trent Williams, right?
He did not.
He was
makes
hurt.
A difference.
That makes a difference, but what Seattle did is they ran the ball really well. If they can do this in the playoffs, I don't think anybody can beat Seattle if they can run the football like this. Because then you ask Sam Darnold to just be a game manager. And don't get me wrong, Sam Darnold has shown numerous times in the last 2 seasons he can be far more than a game manager. But that defense, if they run the football like this, they will go to the Super Bowl. The weird thing is we have seen their run game just absolutely disappear at times this season.
Correct.
Overall, they finished with a respectable run game, but it's been like the question mark every week. And I think it's a good way to limit their turnovers and their mistakes. But we'll see. They have so many pieces, and it's like, all right, even if you slow down their run game, we've seen JSN just be unguardable at times this year.
Yep.
Their defense is opportunistic. They're going to get you an extra possession or 2 in that game. Murdering the Niners offense the way they did.
Nothing, dude.
I thought the Niners had really figured it out and solidified it with Brock Purdy. I was like, they're going to be so tough because of their offense. Like every game, I feel like they're through this postseason is going to be high scoring for the 49ers because we know you can score on their defense. But now Brock Purdy's got that offense locked down.
Yeah.
Not against an elite defense, I guess.
So one of the most intriguing matchups, because there's a lot of really good wild card matchups coming up this weekend. One of the most intriguing is the 49ers against the Eagles.
Yeah.
That game is like because the Eagles defense, they are a very good squad, but they can get run on. And if CMC gets going, who knows? But they got a really good pass rush. As Trent Williams is back, I feel like you feel better about that. And at the same time, that 49ers defense is not great. They played really well on Saturday, don't get me wrong, but they are not great. But then the Eagles offense is also not great. So it's going to be such a fun wild card weekend. Holy cow.
That's a great game. And those two teams, they hate each other's guts, which makes it really fun. They do not like each other. The Eagles defense is going to be equally challenging for the 49ers. I think since Jalen Carter's gotten healthy, their defensive front's better. Their secondary is a nightmare to try and throw against. Like, we know that. So that will be fun. The Eagles, it didn't matter. They lost to the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, it mattered that they could have gotten the 2 seed, but they fall to the 3. Listen, I'm very happy because the Bears lost to the Lions, and I was like, oh, man, we're going to go to Philadelphia again. I really want it. Nope. Thank you, Commanders. Thank you, Wildflower. I appreciate you. Thank you, Josh Johnson, for throwing your first touchdown since 2021. Is that a Broncos cutting board behind you, Perna? The orange thing's a locker, but that one.
This thing, no, it's a wine barrel thing that they We were working on. Oh,
there you go.
Could be a cutting board.
Could be.
Put some lacquer on it.
That's right. I'm just running through these games. Sorry. Houston, Indianapolis. Fun game yesterday. Very fun game. And on top of that, so no Phillip Rivers, right? Riley Leonard.
Look good.
Pretty good. Alec Pierce, man. What a freaking season he had. And then touched a ref. And the ref said, get out of here. And so he got ejected. So that
Dude, thank God that game didn't matter for the Colts.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God.
Like, that was egregious.
Yeah, well, Leonard didn't look too bad. I mean, like, I feel like after this Colts catastrophic meltdown this season, which again, heading into this year, expectations were pretty damn low. But then they go on this big winning streak, and then they completely fall apart. Yes, injuries are a part of that. But you have to wonder what the hell their QB situation is going to be. Daniel Jones isn't going to be under contract. And even if they wind up extending him, if he's going to be ready for the beginning of the season,
he won't be.
Still don't know about Anthony Richardson. Riley Leonard, like, looking solid. It's something, man. It's something to hold on to.
I trade Anthony Richardson. I think a fresh start for him somewhere else will benefit him. Get some draft capital from that trade. I sign a veteran to back up Riley Leonard. And I signed Daniel Jones. I think you can get Daniel Jones on a decent deal, even if it's another 1-year deal until he's healthy. Like,
maybe.
Nobody's going to go, you know what? We need to sign an injured Daniel Jones. So I think Daniel Jones' only option might be the Colts or the Vikings, who are going to be in the market for a veteran as well. But Riley showed enough against a Houston defense that they eventually, so once the Texans saw that the Jaguars were just beating the ever-living shit out of the Titans without Cam Ward, they're like, all right, let's get CJ Stroud out of here. They started pulling some of their defenders, and I think that happened in the third quarter. But before that, when Riley was going against the Texans starters, he was playing pretty well. He had a weird tuck. He tried to tuck it. He fumbled the ball. That was like his worst play. But I think you get enough there from him to go, okay, maybe we can go into the season with him as our starter.
It was wild.
Their top priority's got to be Alec Pierce. You got to get him back because he's in a contract year.
Sensational season, dude. I think was it the quickest to 1,000 yards with like the least amount of receptions, and I think that hasn't happened since like Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. He has back-to-back seasons where he's averaging over 20 yards of reception.
Crazy.
And he would have had more in this game if the stupid officials didn't eject him. And my thought is, I don't think the official who gets touched can make the call for the ejection. You can throw the penalty, whatever, but I think you need like an objective, like booth official or whatever, looking at it, and they have to go, was the intent there by Alec Pierce to intimidate the ref or to physically bully him? No, he's trying to talk to the ref, and he goes to move his arm around him, and he bumps into him. Like, come on.
It's a little ridiculous.
I'm going to put it in a way that everybody can understand. Don't be a bitch if you're that official. Don't be a bitch.
And that is across all, folks.
Don't be a bitch. Don't be a snitch. Prison rules.
That's right. Got him.
Stupid ass.
Perna knows all about prison with the Perna crime family, so that's what
I've been sending little Joe commissary money to little Joe Perna.
Well, Joe. That's also true. Yes, Kevin Stefanski only did win one Coach of the Year. Steven, his cousin, did win the other. That's very true.
Yes, he did.
Hey, there is a stat. 100% of the awardees that I've announced, they have been fired. So,
dude, Coach of the Year is a cursed award. Stefanski got it twice, fired. Brian Dable got it, fired. Mike Vrabel got it, fired. Ron Rivera got it, fired. Oh, there's another one in there. All of those coaches fired within like 3 or 4 years. It's kind of crazy.
But it was a fun game. The Giants, they beat the Cowboys. And so because of that, the Raiders confirmed that they had the number 1 overall pick. Also, the Jets got the 2nd pick in the draft. So there you go. Again, I feel a little high on the Giants. I know you were super high on the Giants heading into this season. But I think that they have a solid foundation. They, like you said, they hire right, they draft right. I think that they're doing well next year.
Dude, Mitch Trubisky destroyed them.
Yeah.
I think if you're the Jets, what your concern with Aaron Glenn is, like, he's a defensive guy. And their defense has been terrible down the stretch. I think 5 straight games where they've given up more than 23 points. Some weird stat like that. Yeah. Like, you can go, okay, maybe we don't have a quarterback. We know what holes we have. We brought in this guy to change the culture. We believe in that. But like the thing he's supposed to be good at, it's been terrible. The other funny stat is Sauce Gardner has the worst record in the NFL. He has 2 wins this season. He got traded to the Colts and all they did was lose.
Yeah, it's tough. That is the Jets, not a single freaking interception, man. What a time. Great job, Jets.
You did it. New York.
You have a crap load of draft picks, which is good. You just got nailed. But you mentioned Aaron Glenn, man. And I really thought Aaron Glenn was going to be able to go over there and make a big difference. And I do think, you get a quarterback. Maybe we're talking a little bit differently. They need to get a few things, but
yeah. I started to buy into the hype on Aaron Glenn.
About you there.
But my thought when he was with Detroit was he was not a great defensive coordinator. He got a lot of credit for coaching up that injury-riddled Lions defense. But I don't know if he was actually like a very good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Which is fine. If you're a great leader and a great head coach, you can be that guy. But the Jets better make sure their coordinators are right.
Give him Matt Nagy.
Well, Eberflus 100% the next Browns head coach.
Eberflus like, you know what? That's fine. They looked at that Cowboys defense and they're like, that's what we want.
Yeah. Who can come in and take the one strength of this team and make it worse? Our defense.
That's tough, man. Canales and Cohen are in the playoffs while, yeah. Dude, it sucks. I mean, the Buccaneers, I don't know how you justify keeping Todd Bowles, man. Like, there's too much talent on that. And I know they dealt with injuries, man. I know they did. But this is happening multiple times. Like, it's just, there needs to be some change there. And again, you need to get more consistent at OC. You have to, because the offensive coordinator needs to change. But it's tough, man. It's a tough look. Cleveland did get that win while we're on Cleveland. They did get that win yesterday. So Stefanski, they win their last 2 games because they were able to knock off the Steelers last week. Still got fired. Joe Burrow. That's it's another offseason for the Bengals. Didn't make the playoffs. And yeah, man, I don't know what the hell the Bengals look like heading into what do they do? Zach Taylor's staying. They confirmed that they're keeping Zach Taylor. So another year of him, which I'm not super surprised because I think they have at least the excuse that Joe Burrow was injured. But that defense, man, is pitiful. It's that they're a good chunk of the year. They were the worst defense in football.
Why the fuck was Burrow even playing?
I think he just wants to play, man.
I know he wants to play, but you're the head coach. And he's fine. He didn't get hurt, but I don't understand the risk there.
Froy, honestly, maybe I'm wrong with this because I know everyone who has ever drafted Kyle Pitts has regretted it, but I think he's shown, he's an athletic dude, and there were some games where he went off this year. I feel like if he's willing to take a pretty average deal, I think you bring him on still. I think you keep him.
Keep who?
Kyle Pitts.
They can't franchise. He's played his 5th-year option out, right?
I don't know. Was it his 5th year?
Can they tag him this season?
I just I feel like you offer him, a 3-year deal and have a ton of incentives thrown in there and see if he takes it.
No, if I'm Kyle Pitts, I get the hell out of there. Let's see. I believe he's an unrestricted free agent.
Is he?
Yeah, he played, let's see, his 5th-year option expired. I forget how the franchise tag works.
He's an unrestricted free agent. Yeah.
But Kyle Pitts, if I'm Kyle Pitts, I go and I sign. There's going to be a team very interested in Kyle Pitts who has a elite quarterback. Get away from the whatever's going on. I love Michael Penix, but I don't know if he can stay healthy through his career. There's going to be teams like the fucking Chiefs probably who are interested in him, especially if Travis Kelce retires. Go play for a team with an elite quarterback, because I think we saw who Kyle Pitts is. That one game where he had the 3 touchdowns, the 160 yards or whatever.
It's true, Asa. Dude, oh man, Kyle Pitts on the Chiefs, that'd be so much fun to watch.
No, it would not. It'd be
I'm
terrible.
not gonna lie, that would be they would turn, dude, he would have the greatest year of his life. He'd ball. Oh man, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Like he could go. I mean, I was like,
Drew
places Kyle Pitts could go. The Rams, the Chiefs, the Seahawks.
You can go the Pats. England is a good one.
You know. Anyway.
Yeah.
This is the draft order. So the Bengals and the Chiefs are picking at 9 and 10.
Yep.
I expected it possibly from the Bengals, but that sucks.
The Cardinals are the 3rd overall pick, and yeah, it's a good point, man. I don't know if they do again, and Drew has to get fired. I mean, that offensive coordinator is just horrible. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Arizona's in a weird spot. I don't know if they trade down and like accrue a bunch of picks. Like what was that a couple of years ago that they did that? But
they got to trade Kyler Murray, get some more picks.
I don't. Who makes that trade, man? Who makes that?
Somebody would trade for him.
No one's taking on that contract.
Somebody would trade for him.
This is okay. So, talking about Joe Shane is staying on as the GM in Indianapolis, and there's no. I'm sorry, as in New York, for the Giants, but there's no changes going on in Indianapolis. I don't know how you don't at least fire your GM.
In Indy?
Yeah.
I mean, they smartly signed Daniel Jones.
Sure.
They have a pretty good roster. They whiffed on Anthony Richardson, but like
that's a big whiff.
It's quarterbacks. It's
big whiff. Big whiff.
I think if you're gonna make a change at GM in Indy, you want a clean sweep of coach and GM, and I
understand that.
I think Steichen's a good coach, a good enough coach for the time being. I think Phillip Rivers, convincing Phillip Rivers to come play for you buys you another year of job security. It was an amazing 3-game stretch for Philly. Didn't win. That's all right. That's all right.
Maximus, it's whoever wins their division is the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seed, and it's the best record out of those 4, and that determines the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 through 7 is the remaining highest record. So then there's tiebreakers and stuff, but that's how it works.
Yeah, it's like I think the Colts are all right. Only problem is, their first round picks going to the Jets there. So.
Yeah, and who made that trade, Brandon?
Yeah, Chris Ballard. But you got to look at the context of when they made that trade. And it's not like Sauce Gardner's been like terrible since they acquired him.
No, but
a lot of other things went wrong after that.
Sure,
their quarterback is fracturing his leg and then tearing his Achilles. That was the big one.
Tough.
They probably could have started Riley Leonard instead of signing Phillip Rivers.
True,
but
even though the Saints lost, I still believe in Tyler Shuck. My Tyler Shuck agenda is still going strong. Got sacked 4 times. I just to talk about that game real quick. But yeah, the Falcons helping out the Carolina Panthers, getting them into the playoffs. And what was that? 3 teams at 8 and 9 in the NFC South. It ended perfectly. The NFC South, it was the perfect regular season for them, and it ended exactly as it should. If
the NFL were ever to create a movie that was a comedy, the NFC South played it out perfectly.
Yes.
If you were to write a script, that
you
was
got to make your videos if the NFL was a movie. Right?
I tried. We had 2 or 3 really nice episodes.
There you go.
Maybe we'll bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've been in the shadow realm for a while. We could talk real quick about the Packers-Vikings game. I don't know if you want to. It
doesn't matter.
Sorrell looked nice on the Packers defense, but yeah, I mean, we sat just about everybody, so we weren't playing a lot of our starters.
Yeah.
It was a nothing game. But now we have the Bears on Saturday. Dude, I can't wait. Oh my God.
Bears, Packers
game. I cannot
wait.
Jordan Love, he cleared concussion protocol. Dude, it's either legit. It's either the Packers win and oh my God, that is or the Bears win and they never shut the hell up for an entire year. So let's go. Win or go home. Let's go. At 90 Scott Elway jersey will do it.
I mean, at least would you have rather played is there any besides the Panthers? Is the Bears the matchup you're most confident about between?
It's not necessarily confidence, but this is how I feel.
Winnable matchup for you.
It is a winnable. I mean, I just wanted it because it's like, let's go play the Bears for a third time because I think that's the best matchup in terms of just, I think it's a great game.
Sure.
But for the Packers, the way that they are going to win any playoff game, it's going to run through their offense, right? After Micah Parsons gets hurt in Denver, that defense kind of fell apart. And while they played pretty solid against the starters yesterday, the Vikings, I don't have a lot of confidence after they got run over by Derrick Henry in that defense. I hope that Jeff Hafley surprised me. Who knows? Trayvon Diggs had a solid day yesterday in his limited game time, whatever. But it's going to come through that offense. A healthy Josh Jacobs, a healthy Jordan Love, Zach Tom being healthy. That, I think, is the best opportunity for the Packers to win. And the way that they're going to be able to score is going up against not so great defenses. The Bears, they did not look good against the Lions yesterday. Right. And their defense, as we saw against the 49ers, very suspect. So I think that this could be a shootout. You know, they will have the receivers back that they didn't have against the Packers. But I think that is going to be just a really good matchup. And I think it's be an offensively driven matchup. So if the Packers wind up winning, they're going against Seattle, which not like we have any old memories there.
Yeah. The Rams versus the Panthers, that's kind of fun considering the Panthers did beat the Rams.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rams, will suffer from PTSD in that game. It feels like the Rams are going to destroy Carolina. But who knows?
Dude, who knows?
It's a good wild card weekend, man.
It really is.
Even Steelers-Texans could be an interesting football game.
With Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I do think that defense made it, but DK Metcalf will be back, right? Unless he punches a fan in the face between now and then. But it's true, Matthew. But yeah, it's a fun matchup. New England, they destroyed the Dolphins. We didn't miss anything there. You mentioned before Jacksonville destroying them. The Rams won, so they were able to get that seed there. Yeah, 37-20. The Cardinals they were a horrible team this year. Yeah,
Stafford threw four TDs.
I think he's going to win MVP. And then, good God, that Kansas City Raiders game was horrible. That was a time.
Yeah.
It was a thing to watch.
Only Raiders fans could be happy about defeating the Chiefs and improving the Chiefs' draft position.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, I wish the Giants would have lost. And if that Raiders, that final play, that 60-yard Daniel Carlson field goal, if that was determining who had the first overall pick, that would have been a lot more fun. But
yeah,
we already knew. It was already written.
I stream every single playoff game. I'll see you Saturday night. I'll see you there.
Bang, bang.
Oh, dude, this is the first time since September that we have not had a Monday night game. We're going to have one more next Monday, of course, because of the super wild.
Yeah, no Monday, no Thursday.
No Monday, no
That's
Thursday.
6 hours. 7 hours.
That's true.
8 hours back into our life.
Ernest, spot on with prison rules. There you go. There it is.
Boom.
He knows. He knows. So, Brady GM when? Brady does a Succession hostile takeover. He's going to get up there.
Tech, right? That's their GM, Spy Tech.
He's going to, which is perfect. He's going to get up there and pull a Kendall Roy. I think so. Season 2 finale. Great show. Great show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Dude, I have the unpredictability of this year's playoffs. Can you pull up can you pull off the bracket one more time?
The wiener?
For the playoffs. If you had to circle 2 games, which ones are you the most? Because I gotta say, dude, Buffalo Jacksonville, I think that's gonna be an excellent football game. I think Chargers Patriots is an excellent football game. San Francisco Philadelphia, an excellent football game, and then again Green Bay Chicago. The Rams Carolina, that's the only one. But as was mentioned before, Carolina already beat them, so you never know. And then Houston Pittsburgh, that could be a sneaky good game. I mean, I think Houston will be favored in that, but yeah, what 2 games are you circling of like, damn, these are gonna be the games of the weekend?
I think Buffalo Jacksonville. That game should be a good game.
Hopefully improvement.
I think Packers Bears will be a good game. Chargers Patriots. I think what's going to be interesting for me, like how Drake May and the Patriots offense play against that Chargers defense.
Yeah.
The Chargers lost Dante Jackson in the Broncos game, but it looks like he should be able to play in this one. I just think the Chargers have a kind of a nasty defense, so that game should be close. And
could go to the Vikings, Kyle.
The Chargers could upset the Patriots, is what I'm saying.
I think so.
But I don't think they will.
Okay.
I don't think they will, but they definitely could.
I'm really excited for Buffalo Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I think that should have been the Monday night game.
Biggest challenge for their offense in the entire season?
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of question marks, but we'll find out who's good eventually, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out. Just a bit. Yeah, I would have loved to see. I've been talking about this past couple of weeks. I would love to have seen the Chargers at full strength with their offensive line. I think they're just a different squad.
Yeah.
They're one of the best teams in the league, if guys are healthy like Slater and Alt. But yeah, seeing the Chiefs in the top 10 is weird. They're going to probably nail this pick, by the way, and then they'll be right back. But
yeah, I think the biggest blowout could be the Rams over the Panthers this weekend.
Oh, did Gannon get fired? Hold on.
We got another?
They fired Jonathan Gannon.
Wow.
Hold on.
I know where you're going. Oh, yeah. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it.
Losing its momentum because I cannot find it.
Play it.
Do we still have it?
Play it.
Hold on. I'm trying. I'm trying so
much.
I'm really trying.
Play it.
Oh, there we go.
Hey! What's up, man? How you doing? Good. Good. Shots. Explosive.
We should have known. I mean, what had happened? We were like,
What was that other Gannon clip we used to have? The fire in your belly? The
fire in your gut.
Fire in your gut.
Dude, last week I had fire in my gut.
Dom at it.
Yeah, dude, Lions go from first to last. Everybody in the NFC North has a winning record.
Yeah. Jonathan Gannon will probably end up as a defensive coordinator somewhere. I mean, the Falcons defense, the Cardinals defense, not good. I think they lack a lot of personnel on defense, but he got that job because of what he was doing with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting offseason. So we got what? How many coaches now? Is that 6 in total for this season? Somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot of vacancies.
We'll see, man. Yeah, let's see if Todd Bowles winds up going too, but I don't know. Yeah, I go for Perna. What do you got coming out today? Winners and losers?
Yes, that'll be up today.
Nice. There you go. Yeah, we won't wait till this evening, but this afternoon we will be putting out every NFL fan's reaction to Week 18. I was up until like 1 o'clock in the morning doing that Ravens Steelers reaction, so you can go and we'll check that one out if you so wish. And then tomorrow should be scripted and power rankings. We'll be ranking all 14 teams. So there you go, Perna. We actually might match the amount of teams that we have for once.
Get on my level, buddy. Get on my level.
I got to veer into the madness and see if it stares back at me. So
it will.
Also,
wink at you.
Yeah, as long as the curse wheel gets burned, I think the Colts will be fine next year, right?
We'll see if the curse wheel's got its shit together for the playoffs.
Yeah.
See. We'll see.
We'll see indeed. Oh, yeah, Falcons fans, you're partying tonight. You're doing it bit by bit. All right, spam. God. All right, we'll see what happens. Seahawks. We'll see what happens. What happened literally 2 weeks after the NFC Championship game? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. So, giving up on the Seahawks. There you go, Phoenix. You never gave up. You just surrendered a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Maybe Red Wedding. We're going to get through this. Hold on, real quick. Head coach for the Cardinals. Perna? I don't think you. I'm not asking for your thing there.
Jeff Hafley. And guess who he brings with him? Malik Willis, baby.
Hey, honestly, Malik Willis to the Cardinals might not be the worst
makes
thing.
sense for the Cardinals. Brissett, Willis. See what you got.
I did see Jamar Chase. He's like, I hope they stop the game when I break a record in the future.
Okay.
It's like, whatever, man. That's what I'm saying, Cheese. It's revenge. Let's go. Let's get it. The Packers could go on the revenge tour. Or we could get bounced. Who knows what happens? Who knows? Adam.
Yes. I love when.
What advice would you guys have to learn better ball? It's a great question. I think there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of great creators that are out there. You want to learn more like X's and O's. Check out Brett
Watch
Coleman.
The Longest Yard. Start there with the film, The Longest Yard.
Good for X's and O's, like
Little Giants.
They go through all the teams too.
Giants.
And it's just like watching more football too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like just the exposure to it, you just learn more and more about it. You want to learn about more players. I've always said this, like actually playing fantasy football, you learn depth real quick because you learn like who the third string running back is for a bunch of teams. So
Brett Coleman is awesome. And then check out Film Watchers. This dude who breaks down games. I think it's Film Watchers. He's freaking awesome.
Who feels the best going into the playoffs? I feel like Seattle. After that win.
Seattle feels the best.
Yeah, please, Perna. If you can curse the Bears, that'd be great.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when we get to Let me finish winners and losers first.
I want it now. Right now. It could be. We'll see. I mean, Cleveland, we'll just see if they can ever get out of the pit of eternal despair. We'll see. So, oh yeah, Spags is also getting an interview, I think. Is it the Giants? I think he's interviewing for the Giants head coach.
Go back to the Giants.
The NFC North will do better than last year in the playoffs.
I hope Spags leaves Kansas City. Please get him the fuck out of there.
But folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday. Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna, GPS, and you have been navigated. That's how I drive.
If Spags leaves, Jonathan Gannon will be the Chiefs' next defensive coordinator. Mark it.
Pete Carroll got fired?
And he reached your destination.
I didn't know.
Oh, sneaky